I'm Kelsey, that's Tim, and this is the story of our adventure. Life is fleeting, and we want to squeeze every bit out of it. We are wandering the world, so home is a bit of a moving target for us. We love finding the random, the remote, and sharing it all with you. So subscribe to get lost with us and hopefully find some inspiration to go after your own dreams.
Hey guys, welcome to this episode.
Yeah, last week we took you guys to Farmers Key for the Farmers Key Regatta, which is pretty cool. And now it's time for us to head back north to Shroud Key.
Yes, and you guys will remember Shroud Key. That's where I got to swim with the turtle and float through the lazy river, which was really cool. So we put up sails and headed north. So this was a lovely downwind sail. Anytime we get the asymmetrical out, it's a good day. And there were lots of super yachts, as you could see, to gawk at, which was fun.
Yeah, it was really cool. This event is called Flochella, and it's something we heard about from some new friends we made actually in St. Augustine, Florida, who were on another boat. And we thought it'd be a fun event for us to meet some other cruisers and have people to catch up with as we continued on.
So we made it to Shroud Key, we dropped anchor, and the next morning, all the shenanigans began.
All right, today is Flochella, or the start of Flochella. It's a couple days. We're going to do like a raft up. I'm not sure how many boats it's going to be. Tim's actually at the meeting right now figuring that out. So we'll see how many boats and how we get rafted up. But that's the plan for today, is just kind of hang out, raft up. And then tomorrow we float through the little river that goes through Shroud Key, which is where we are at. So yeah, it should be a lot of fun. It's a beautiful day, and tomorrow's supposed to be nice too. So we already know a few people, and I think we'll make some new friends too. Should be fun.
All right, we just pulled up anchor, and we are heading over to the raft up. So we're gonna figure out how to get us all rafted up. That's where we're headed right now. So we've never done this before, so it's a little intimidating, but everyone seems super nice and it'll be cool. But yeah, it's kind of scary to raft up to other boats. Hopefully it goes well. All right, everyone is going to put fenders on their starboard side. So each boat will have fenders and then one will have it. That's the idea. Get the fenders out.
So we got ourselves rafted up safely to our friends David and Kendra's boat Moonshine on our port side, and then to our starboard side some new friends came in on their beautiful Antares named Chief. Such a classy boat. I was really amazed at how quickly this whole raft up came together. Now that we were sorted with Moonshine and Chief securely on either side of us, it was time to blow up some floaties, thanks to David and Kendra for sharing, and do what we came here to do. Relax and hang out with friends.
Watch out, Timothy.
All clear.
I will say, while it looks amazing for pictures and videos, rafting up like this is a bit daunting. All these boats of very different shapes and sizes, all bobbing and swaying in their own direction.
I just had to try and not to think about everything that could go wrong and just be very thankful we were attached to competent and responsible boaters on either side. But I will admit, despite going to bed around 9 p.m., yes, we are 90 years old, I didn't sleep much. Now, with everyone safely rafted up, the party really started.
Well, as you can see, a good time was had by all. Everyone was so kind and friendly and generous. A lot of good people. What do you guys think? Would you raft up your boat?
It was a little dicey, I have to admit. But that next morning, after de-rafting successfully with no damage to any boats, which is kind of remarkable, we headed over to float the river.
Well, we're not the last one. There's another boat showing up.
Oh, I thought that first.
Yeah, totally. Like, what?
So today is the float part of Flochella. Pretty nice.
Again, David and Kendra's giant floaty was put to good use. It had been patched up from the night before and proved to be the perfect platform to float down the river.
This was such a fun event, and even being the introverts that we are, we were very glad we got to take part in it and made lots of new friends.
Yeah, it was awesome. Totally worthwhile to go out of your way to get to one of these events. So if you hear about one happening, we'd highly recommend you go.
Absolutely.
The next morning, we were sort of recovered, but still pretty haggard. So we pulled up the anchor and we had to start heading south. My parents were coming to visit us.
Yep, and as always seems to be the case when you need to be somewhere, the weather does not cooperate, and today was no different.
Absolutely not. We had 20 plus knots right on the nose, and so we were tacking into it all day.
Yeah, we weren't sure exactly how strong the wind was because our wind sensor has been a little sticky lately, so.
Yeah, our anemometer doesn't really like any wind speed below 10 knots, but above that, I think it's fairly accurate.
Maybe, we'll see. It's on the to-do list.
Yes. Anyway, it was a long day of tacking back and forth and doing about double the miles that we actually made southing.
Yeah, it was a long day.
Rough days like this sometimes point out weaknesses, which is just a nice way of saying something broke.
Okay. So, this is the car for our self-tacking jib track. And it's got a shackle on the top that the block attaches to. and we're waiting on a block with a becket, which is something my parents are actually going to bring to us when they visit. And then we'll have a 2-to-1 up there. You saw us break that a few episodes ago. These end caps were sort of rotted and cracked looking.
Where's the one that's broken?
Oh, it's underneath. So yeah,
don't touch it.
All these balls will come flying out at all. So what we did is we removed it first of all. Realized a ton of these little balls are missing. We found on the boat a bucket of balls, wrong size. So that must be...
They're little bearings. Yeah. Bearing balls.
And so they must be... They're Torlon balls. I don't know if that's a material, but I saw something else said they were Delrin. Either way, they're plastic. I think that these really giant ones are for the main boom track. So we thought we had spares for these, but we didn't. But this is one of the cars for the mainsail on the boom, or on the mast. And so our new sail doesn't need one extra car, right? We have one less car needed than we used to. So we looked at these balls, and this car anyways, the plastic retainer that holds the balls in was already broken. Well, the plastic clip that holds the retainer.
It's all very complicated.
So we're able to steal all the balls from this side, a few from here, and we have all of the main Torlon bearing balls now in the jib track. The problem is this end cap here, it's sitting on it and it's all cracked, so I don't want to touch it or I'll dump them out. It fits this, but the difference is there's a little opening here and then there's a little loop in here. So these ball bearing balls can actually, as you're sliding across, they're not only just spinning in place, they're spinning along and they go down through the end and back up the other side. That we're not going to be able to accomplish. I doubt I'm going to be able to put in a perfect little loop here for the balls to go through. So we're going to lubricate the balls well, make sure that they're spinning, but they're not going to be able to loop around at the end as they're supposed to.
For now, until we get the repair.
But if I just get this little bump, which you can see this piece here.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're doing is our boat, instead of having adjustable stoppers, these were just bolted into place right through our deck, which is frustrating. Normally on Seawinds, it's got a pull release tab. So we're actually getting some that have that, and those will be coming also with my parents. But these were just stuck in place. So we looked at these end caps and went, hey, I wonder if one of these end caps would work as a new end cap. It does in every way, except it doesn't have that loop at the end for the balls to like run through. So we're unbolting these because we don't need them anyways. They were only a couple inches from the end of the self-tacker. So not having them on there is not going to make any difference, because when we trim our jib, we always have it trimmed in enough where the car isn't anywhere near the end when you're sailing into the wind. And when you're not sailing into the wind, there's not too much load on it anyways, because we usually put a preventer and whatever. So, all very technical. So, we robbed the end cap of the other one of these, and I'm modifying it, and it should sit right there, and then we'll have a working jib car. The problem is, this jib car is not only $380, it's also not in stock anywhere in the United States or anywhere in the UK that I can find online. And Lumar will send it to you, but it takes like a month. And so my parents are flying in a week. Even DefenderMarine.com says, you know, it's in stock, quote, meaning we know that Lumar has some, but it's not in stock with us. So you have to do international shipping and wait almost a month. They also sell a rebuild kit. So it's all the ball bearings, right, which we have found, thankfully, the same size in a Harkin piece, even though this is Lumar. But we'd have all the balls and the proper end caps, so the balls get to circulate through the end. But same thing, not in stock anywhere in the U.S., only available online, and then you're waiting almost a month. So I think what we're going to do, because this is all aluminum. It's not going to go bad, really, ever. I mean, unless it oxidizes. I mean, it'll take a long time. I think the rebuild kit for $180. It's 2 plastic end caps and all the Torlon balls.
Ridiculous.
I know, it's almost as much as the whole thing. I mean, it's $100 less, $200 less. So significant. I think we'll get the rebuild kit. Then we'll always have enough of these Torlon balls. We'll have a spare end cap, right? We can take this old one off when we get it, put the fresh one on, and keep that one if we break that again. But yeah, that's our current project of the day. It's always something. It was strong wind. It definitely wasn't the cause of it, because that wasn't slapping into anything. No. It was already cracked, but it was a lot of pull force, right? Yeah. So, that was probably more of the issue today, is that it was within its spec, but man, it was, we were doing 8.5, 9 knots at times on our boat. That's fast into the wind. and we were pinching at like 40 degrees to wind.
And it wasn't a
Apparent
hit
wind.
that did it. I think it just, the plastic is old and sunbeaten. So
Yeah, and then so we may have lost the balls, 2 tacks before it jammed. But all of a sudden this car, which spins so freely back and forth, just kunk and locked up. And it was like, uh-oh. So I'm going to work on this. Once we get that cap on, we'll lubricate the balls as best as they've ever been lubricated. Put it back on there, and then at least we should be able to sail with the jib. If not, we just won't have a self-tacker. And the boat's not really set up, but we'll find a way with cleats or with blocks or taking extra lines, and we'll just have a normal traditional, like a Genoa, where you have to move a line or loosen a line and tighten a line each time you tack. So not as easy, but I bet we can rig that up with our little brains. We're very tired still from Flochella, but must do things. So here we go. And this thing, little cheapo,
super awesome. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, here we go. They're in there. You can see this side. Look at that little track. That's a loop right in there. Inside that plastic is another loop, but for these larger balls. This side now, the way I cut this, it slips on, but we can't get a track in there because these would fall out. A little machine track. And so, yeah, I think we'll be good. Maybe. What do you think?
I think it'll work. I don't know if it'll be like a long time, but it moves. And in theory, it should hold it where it needs to be, because both sets of large and small balls are in there.
So we're going to run it tomorrow, see how it does.
We'll find out, right?
Destroy it, then we're going to a non-self-tacker setup until we can find one of those that's not a month delivery. Or, at some point, we were looking at maybe having to go to the U.S. before we head further east, so we can have it sent hopefully to like a marine supply place or something like that.
Yeah.
So I think we've got it dialed enough to continue sailing and put the end caps on now. And silicone these holes. These are the giant holes with a
Stupid.
5-inch bolt drilled right into our deck that have been there. I don't know, probably since a charter person, broke the pin release on the other style. And then they decided, we're just going to have them permanently affixed right here near the edge. So I'm going to go ahead and fill those holes so we don't get any water in the boat. And then soon we'll have the adjustable kind, which is really nice because if we're pinching into the wind, it's fun to be able to actually force it over to the center with these little pin locks and then leave it there if it's a long sail on a certain tack, and you can really trim the sail, I think, a lot better.
Yeah.
But I've only played with them once before, so on another boat.
Look how salty it is up there.
Yeah.
It's like it snowed.
So we crossed our fingers that this fix would hold out as long as we needed until we could get a real replacement.
Yes, we continued making miles south over the next couple days. It was still really windy and really rough, but eventually we found one of our favorite anchorages, actually, and it was protected from the wind, and we woke up one day and it was absolutely dead.
I love looking out the window in the morning. I'm just making coffee and it is like glass outside and there's turtles just swimming by and I can see them perfectly. I can see the blades of grass on the bottom of the ocean floor right now, and it's just magical watching the turtles swim around, pop their little heads up every once in a while. It just blows my mind that this is real. That's my kitchen window and there's turtles out there. Crazy.
Well, with such calm weather, we couldn't ask for a better time to go up the mast and check out our anemometer.
It was Kelsey's first time up our mast, too.
I'm going up the mast for the first time.
quick panel. Okay. And I've got the silicone spray so I can come down and do that as I go. Oh, wrong side of the... Hold on one second, because I'm missing some of the chips. Let me get myself... Alright, I am on the ground.
Well, besides turtle watching, this anchorage was amazing. There was so much good spearfishing nearby, and we even got our biggest lobster ever.
Yeah, it was huge. We saved it and shared it with Tim's parents when they came.
Look at that.
Holy cow.
That is by far the biggest I've ever gotten.
Like,
every one of those legs has a ton of meat in them.
Look how huge that is.
It is.
Just massive.
as
Well, you
big as
can't
my
really tell.
torso.
My hand looks giant in that. That's crazy.
That is wild.
Woo!
And then we got to give you an idea, a normal size, good size.
That's a big normal lobster.
Yep.
Dang.
Will be eaten well.
Yeah.
They don't kid when they say they're spiny.
They are very spiny. Sharp, sharp.
Yes, well, we'll save the giant tail maybe for my parents.
There you
That'll
go.
be
We
good
can
for
freeze
four
it.
of us,
Yeah.
and then the little one we can go ahead and have tonight.
Perfect. We decided we should check out the beach here. There's a lot of palm trees, but
Wow, that's a lot of conch.
there's a ton of conch. There's a lot of conch in the water.
Yeah.
This whole beach is just conch shells.
Okay, what's going on down here?
Making some conch fritters.
Mmm.
It's the first time we're attempting conch fritters. Like true conch fritters. We've done fried conch.
Those look amazing.
We even got Bahamian style dip inside.
Ooh. God, it looks so
We
good.
even got a visit from a curious tiger shark.
And this was the last shot we got from our drone before it took a swim.
Sadly.
Rest in peace, little buddy.
No more drone shots for a while. Live update. We are doing
2.8
2.8 knots right now. Sometimes 3. There's not a lot of
We've
wind
hit
today.
3.5.
Yes, but we need to be in Georgetown because Tim's parents are coming to visit and
Yep.
see goose for the very first time, which is
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm excited.
We have some fishing lines off the back.
Yep.
We're out in the open ocean today, so we're hoping for some mahi. We have not caught any mahi.
I don't know if 2.6 is the proper speed for
Not-
trolling for mahi, but that's
Yeah.
okay. We're not using the engines, and that feels good. And if this goes on for a while, we can always turn them off. But it's supposed to increase today. It's
And we
just a
don't have
matter
far
of-
to go, so.
No. We're going to do about half the distance between where we were in Georgetown, and then tomorrow we'll have a really short, 13-mile sail
Yeah.
into town, and they'll be getting in the evening. So.
Yeah, so we have the spinnaker up right now, and like Tim said, we're headed for Georgetown, which will be by far the busiest anchorage we have ever been to, so it'll
Yeah.
be interesting.
We joined the Georgetown cruisers page, and last count was over 300 cruisers.
Which is just
So
insane.
I can't even picture that
No.
because Farmers Cay for the race was a lot. That was
Yeah.
probably 70 boats.
Yeah.
And that was overwhelming. But 300 is going to be a whole nother level. And right now, the most boats we've seen in the Bahamas are in view. So it's, I need to do a quick count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. 25 boats in view.
And they're all, most of them at least, are heading
I'm
towards
sure they're all headed to
Georgetown.
Georgetown. But I hear there's a good grocery store there, so
Yeah.
there's that. And then there's a lot to do. And so we'll, and the regatta is starting. And that's probably why a lot of people are going
Yeah.
there. So my parents are going to be here during the regatta. So we'll hang out and find some fun stuff to do.
Yeah, I'll show you the spinnaker. Oh, very pretty. And we got fishing lines off the back. So wish us luck with getting there.
Wish us some wind.
Today. Yeah, wish us some wind. Well, we made it to Georgetown safely and enjoyed spending some time with Tim's parents. We got to show them Goose for the first time, watch a rocket launch, and we even ate some donuts.
Yeah, they had oddly good donuts in Georgetown, which, trust us, traveling all over the world, they're usually not.
They're
so
very
that was
disappointing often.
very exciting.
Yeah.
No, it was really cool to show my parents our boat, all the work we had done, our lifestyle, because it's really something we've never done. And it's so cool that we found a place that they could just fly in and enjoy some time with us. So thank you guys for visiting.
Yeah, it was really neat to show them around and have them get to experience a little bit of Goose.
Well, that does it for this episode. Thank you so much, as always, for coming with us. Join us next week where we go to the most remote part of the Bahamas, the Raggeds.
Yes, and special thanks to our patrons, and we will see you all next week.
See you next week.